Hi, this is Hank reporting from Kyiv, and this is my update on Russian-Ukrainian war. Let's see what happened around Ukraine in the last 24 hours. 8th of May, the day of the Remembrance. EU agreed to use Russian assets. Ukrainian Parliament voted for mobilization of convicts. Power outages announced. Russia carried out a massive airstrike at night. On the 8th of May, Ukraine commemorates the Day of Remembrance and victory over Nazism in the Second World War. Since 2023, this holiday has been officially approved in Ukraine on the 8th of May instead of the previous celebration on the 9th of May, the traditional Soviet Victory Day. We call this Day of Remembrance and Reconciliation in the memory of victims of the Second World War and reconciliation between the countries participating in the Second World War, and emphasize the difference between Ukraine's perception of the theme of the Great War with the phrase "never again," which is radically different from the Russian slogan "we can repeat." This is a very important detail, and I want to highlight this. War is horror, death, suffering and pain. This must never happen again. This is how Ukraine perceived the day when the Second World War was officially finished. This is not the day of celebration. This is the day of grief. A day of gratitude to all those who gave their lives for peace. This must never happen again. Here is the official position of Ukraine and the vision of Ukrainians, and this is why we have a red poppy flower as a symbol of remembrance. Some people don't actually understand this and think that Ukrainians only want to fight forever. We clearly say never again, and the Russians will also say so after our victory. The world needs peace. Please help us establish peace. I'll attach the link to President Zelensky's speech dedicated to this day so you may listen to the official statement. EU ambassadors agreed in principle on measures concerning extraordinary revenues stemming from Russian immobilized assets. The money will serve to support Ukraine's recovery and military defense in the context of Russian aggression. This is the official statement of the Council of European Union, and even though it is not those 300 billion of frozen Russian assets, it is also a big step forward. I believe that we talk about 5 billion at the moment, and this is also a powerful signal to Russia. You will pay for every crime you commit in Ukraine. This is not only about us, but about the whole civilized world and how it works. If such a large country can attack a smaller country and believe that it will not have any consequences, then what are the international laws and regulations are worse? Why should all the countries adhere to them? You may not like Ukraine, but this is much bigger than us. The whole planet suffered from the Second World War, which happened nearly 80 years ago, and the civilization agreed to create a new world order, which at least brings stale peace. Some analytics say that we need around $800 billion to rebuild Ukraine. The Russians actually razed the cities to the ground, erasing what have been peaceful towns and villages into dust. Millions of people have lost literally everything from homes and loved ones to their usual way of life and future. For what? I do not believe in pure justice, but I do believe that a civilized society will make barbarians pay for all the crime, in one form or another. The Ukrainian Parliament has voted to allow some people serving prison terms to be released to serve in the army. Those convicted of crimes against national security, intentional murder of 2 or more people, rape and other serious crimes cannot be mobilized for sure. I don't know the number of people who fall under this category, but I hope that everyone will be checked and be able to serve the country. I would like to emphasize that this is fundamentally different from the way the Russians released serious criminals and maniacs in order to seize foreign territory. Self-defense and attack are totally different things. Let people who caused a road accident be able to defend their homeland. As you can see, we are all for inclusivity and tolerance here. The Ukrenergo, the main electric power supplier, is forced to limit the energy supply to industry and business in peak time from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. The volume of restrictions will be distributed evenly among all regions. The reason for these restrictions is a shortage of electricity caused by massive Russian missile and drone attacks on the energy facilities. I remember how we suffered from blackouts 2 years ago and how hard that winter was. The Russians tried too hard to leave us without light and heating to force us to surrender. In fact, they still have not understood an important thing. Ukrainians have adapted to survive in difficult conditions. This is one of the national traits, actually. We fight fiercely for survival, and an hour after the battle, we go to drink coffee and draw memes. Many foreigners do not understand how this is possible. Like 5 minutes ago, rockets exploded over your head and you could have died, and now you're having fun as if nothing had happened. We have an expression, in order not to cry, I laughed, and this actually describes what is happening right now. We still need air defense systems. Please help us protect our cities from Russian missiles. Give Ukraine Patriots or sell Ukraine Patriots. Last night, Russia carried out a large-scale air attack on the entire territory of Ukraine using 55 missiles of different types and 21 drones. This is not the most massive attack of all time. I remember how they fired more than 120 rockets at us during 3 hours. Once we covered in shelter all New Year's Eve until 4 in the morning, but nevertheless, just imagine this number of rockets. It is so scary to imagine that death is flying somewhere over your head right now. This is how my phone notifications looked at night. I can't imagine what must be in the soul of a person who presses a button knowing that this rocket flies into a house where people sleep peacefully after a working day. This is simply beyond my understanding. That's it for today. This was my news update from Ukraine for the day number 805 of the full-scale Russian invasion. Thank you everyone who supports us in our fight for freedom. Take care.